Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show live. Good to see you and you and you and you. I can see all of you from all around the world. Some of you are all dressed to the nines. Some of you are a little casual. Some of you are in your pajamas. You didn't know I could see that, did you? We sure can. Welcome to the show. This is your entertainment lifestyle talk show series that we started some 250 episodes ago. And it's a pleasure to have you here. Hope you guys are doing well. If you didn't have a good day thus far, well, you know, this is the place for light and levity and love, or as we've coined it, accidentally with a slip of the tongue in the summertime, loveity, right here on the Jim Masters Show live with incredible guests from television, film, music, Broadway, Hollywood, health and wealth and science and nature, as well as culinary artists and authors, inspirational people, sports figures, comedy. It's a entertainment lifestyle talk show series, actually, that we created that is patterned after the old school talk shows like Johnny Carson and Dick Cavett and David Susskind and some of the originals we pay heed to and homage to, Mike Douglas, Merv Griffin. But what we are doing is bringing back the lost art of conversation and combining it with some of the modern vibe and the modern twist of today. So we spend time, we get into some good conversation, entertainment, levity, all kinds of great stuff. Every episode is something different. Every night is something different. We're here usually 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific live. Our YouTube channel is Jim Masters TV as well. We welcome everybody on YouTube who's watching. Love it if you subscribe to the channel. That is awesome. You can find me also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, Twitch, all at Jim Masters TV. And we welcome everybody. Again, this is the place. So many people, the guests and the viewers, say they really enjoy the way we've created this format and the warmth and conversational style. And I really appreciate that. And with that, we welcome you and you and you and you. And we say, hey, it's good to have you with us. You're in for a treat because you've got a terrific guest tonight. All our guests are great, but we've got 4-time Emmy-winning actor, director, and producer and writer. Kevin Spirtas is here. And of course, many of you know him from a lot of different places, most notably, probably Days of Our Lives, I would say, One Life to Live, Friday the 13th, and much more, even many more recent projects as well. He has a very special announcement he's going to be sharing with us, too, about an award that has just come, a recognition that is significant that has just come as well. But he's going to join us in just a second, live from Los Angeles. He's all excited, looks really comfortable in his home. He's got the little kitty next to him as well. He's all set, ready to go. And we're so excited to have him here. We appreciate him stopping by the Jim Masters Show live. Let's check in real quick with some of our great Loveity viewers. Oh, just so you know, I already told him about Loveity. So he knows he's going to be called a Loveity and welcomed as a Loveity. And you guys call me Mr. Loveity, and this is Loveity Hall. And you guys are our Loveity viewers. It's really a cool thing that the guests love it. Good evening, Jim, and our Loveity family from Kathy Short, who's watching in Cleveland, Ohio. We love that. Good to see you, Kathy. We love, love, love. And Merlin is watching in Ontario, Canada. Hello, Jim and all Loveities. Good to see you as well. And Willie is watching from the Netherlands. My dear brothers and sisters from America, nice to see you again. Good to see you, Willie. Thanks for joining us. Mary Bishop is watching in Florida, South Florida. Good to see you. Hello, Jim and Loveity friends. We love that. Mary, Maureen is here. Cheers to a wonderful evening in Loveity Hall with Jim and Kevin and all of you beautiful Loveities. Again, the positive spirit on our show is absolutely amazing. We've really built quite an incredible community here of viewers all around the world. Hello, Jim and Loveity family. Happy, oh yeah, for you, it's Friday, right? It's Friday for you because you're in South Africa, Juanita. Still trudging through our Thursday here. Hello, Jim and Loveity family. Nice to see you once again in beautiful South Africa. Dwight is here. Hello, Dwight. Good to see you and welcome. Nice to have you here on the show as one of our Loveity viewers. And Ann Wozniak is here as well. Hi, Jim and everyone. I hope everyone has a terrific Thursday. You too, Ann. Good to see you watching on the YouTube channel as well. Good evening, Mr. Loveity. Good evening, Loveities. Linda Odell checking in from St. Augustine, Florida, which is not too shabby a zip code to be right about now. We've got some really cold weather that is coming and some snow. We've been really, really lucky in the last couple of winters with very little, but It's good that you guys are here warming us up. Good evening, Jim, and all of you beautiful lovelies from Karen Campbell Green watching in Nova Scotia. And Dwight says you remember him as Kevin Blair. Good memory, good memory. I'm sure you're going to, from Rituals, absolutely. We've got lots to share, lots to talk about on the show. And Dwight knows everything. Was his first show from 1984. Linda says, love your shirt, Mr. Loveity. Thank you very much. Gary Troyer is watching in Iowa, USA. Hi, Jim and all Loveities. Good to see you, Gary. Thanks for joining us here on the Jim Master Show live. And is watching in Southern California. Hope everyone is doing well. So happy to be here today. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And also says, hello, everyone. Hope everyone is having a blessed day. Glad to make it here today. We are glad that you're here as well. And I hope things are good on your end as well. And yeah, Dwight, you know it all. Kevin was also on The Facts of Life. That's right. Quantum Leap. I mean, he's been on so many different things. Playing Joey's boyfriend, the episode Ratings Game. You are amazing, Dwight. You know it all, huh? And that's great to have you with us. And Ann says, hope everybody's having a blessed day. Nice, nice, nice. Good to see all the happy faces here. So we're going to welcome Kevin to the show in just a second. Hi, Jim and lovely friends. Welcome, actor Kevin Spirtas, to the show tonight on this Wolf Full Moon tonight. Oh, boy, Wolf Full Moon. Hopefully that keeps us on the air, right? You know, full moons and technology aren't always the great, and Mercury in retrograde or something has a field day with technology too, doesn't it? Hi, Jim. Hi, everyone. Sending loveity to all from Kathleen Walker watching in New York City. And you've already made Kevin a loveity. That's pretty cool. Good evening, Kevin. You're a loveity now. He's all set and ready to go with that. So with that, keep the comments coming. We always welcome our viewer comments from all around the world. And you guys are real passionate, real active. So we really, really love that. We really appreciate that. So keep all of that coming. We're so excited to welcome him to our show. He really is amazing at what he does. And he's been doing it for quite a few years. And he knows the business inside and out as an actor, director, producer, writer, and so much more. Let me tell you a little bit about some of the things that you might not be aware of with his extraordinary background. First, of course, Days of Our Lives is one of those that a lot of people know him from. However, he's been in so many shows over the years. Of course, from Friday the 13th, right? Yes, that's another one too. But in addition to that, you mentioned Facts of Life, right? I think that was Dwight that had mentioned that. Yes, that is another one that he was in. And of course, Quantum Leap is one that I mentioned as well. He is a 4-time Emmy-winning actor and producer and director. And he's somebody who, again, has had so much when it comes to blessings in what is really our crazy, crazy business. And he's somebody who really, he's like a philanthropist too. He really gives back. And that's what I love. He's somebody who really cares about people. He's involved in so many different things that allow him to give back to the community. And I think that's another thing that is really, really special because a lot of people, they're so busy, they don't get a chance to do that. He was born in St. Louis, Missouri, and perhaps, again, best known for his role as Dr. Craig Wesley on the soap opera Days of Our Lives, Jonas Chamberlain on the ABC soap opera One Life to Live as Nick in the slasher film Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. He's also worked on Broadway, too, including Hugh Jackman's Understudy and The Boy from Oz. He's also worked as stunt performer as well, and so much more. He was also on the soap opera web series Winterthorne, nominated for the Indie Series Award for Best Guest Actor in a Drama, Daytime Emmy Awards, Outstanding Actor Awards, and on and on and on. And some of the projects have included The Hills Have Eyes, Part 2, Rituals, Facts of Life, Quantum Leap, Bloodstone, Superspecies 2, Valley of the Dolls, Silk Stockings, Raging Angels, Married with Children, Fired Up, Days of Our Lives, The Young and the Restless, Friends. See what I mean? And of course, After Forever, which was very recent, Backstabbed, Bloodbound, and many others. And we're going to talk with him about all of these and so much more. He's got a prolific acting career. But even more than that, he's a great guy. And it's our pleasure and honor to welcome him live from Los Angeles to the Jim Masters Show, live as one of our loveities. Hey, Kevin, welcome. It's good to have you with us.
Hi there, my friend. Nice to see you.
You as well.
Happy Thursday. Happy chilled Thursday. I know that we got some LA viewers there, but
you do.
It's cold over here in Hollywood, where I'm at, the foothills and the toenails of the foothills of the Hollywood Hills. And before we get started, can I just clarify some correct facts?
Sure.
I never did stunt work. It's not how I got my start. It's in writing on the internet, so of course it's true. But I was a gymnast for many years, and I could do maybe one or two, pratfalls or something if I needed to.
You don't want to do a backflip right now for a second?
No, I retired the backflip in season 2 of After Forever on the Beach, episode 7, I think it is. But the other thing is, I was not the understudy for Hugh Jackman. I was the standby. It's a very standby. That means that I stood off stage while the show went on, and if he went down, that's when I would go on. Standing by, please. Yeah. Standing
by, please. Ready to jump in and jump into the fire if needed, right?
That's right. That's right.
Well, a lot of people are welcoming you here and say loveity, and you say we look like brothers. Wow, Dwight.
Yeah. Hey, okay, cool.
Gary says it's 0 in Iowa.
And you can have Iowa.
Yeah. Well, hey, what you say, Alexa, and it's 63 degrees.
Yeah, that's right.
63. And he said it's a cold snap in LA. I guess that would be.
My blood is thinned. Hi, Gary.
But you would be used to the cold, right? St. Louis boy?
Yeah, I had all 4 seasons growing up there. And then I did move to New York for a while. And my living there really just put the cap on no more winters.
That was it. But when you were back in St. Louis, tell us about some of those early inspirations for you, Kevin, that got you started in, the understanding that you wanted to get into entertainment. You wanted to be a performer, an actor. Will you play, in plays in school and everything? Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, for anybody who's new to getting to know me, and I pay homage to Mrs. Joanne Smiley, who was my 4th grade music teacher, and she's still my friend today. We are in contact. She's the mayor of Clarksville right now. She's out of St. Louis, but for me, I had this affinity to stay up late at night and sneak into the living room and watch the television when they were playing an old movie musical. And I wanted to sing, and I wanted to dance. I wanted to be Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire. And I kind of taught myself how to dance and do gymnastics. And for me, the next progressive thing was to be in all the high school musicals and get jobs outside of the high school, like at Six Flags Over Mid-America. I was in the live performance show there. And at 18 years old, I went to New York. Broke into show business, was there for 3 months, and got an audition for a chorus line on Broadway at the time. And that I was very lucky. I knocked on the stage door of the Schubert Theater because I heard they were having this closed audition, and I wasn't equity or anything, but they said, yeah, okay, bring your piece of resume. I did, and they called me the next day and said, be here in 2 weeks, and the rest is history.
I mean, were you pinching yourself? That's incredible so quickly to have that happen, huh?
Yeah. It was, there's something about, and this has kind of always been the overlay of my career. When I am supposed to get a job, when my name is on the job, it doesn't matter where, when, how. I think it's persistence and it's preparedness meeting opportunity. And I wanted to be in chorus line so badly. I wanted to sing the song. I can do that.
Yeah.
And sure enough, my creating an opportunity and being in New York and hearing about it, that's the show I got. That's the job I got. So, but that even happened later on in Friday the 13th, Days of Our Lives. These are all roles that I had something to learn from and heal from and get some sort of understanding. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why people are able to watch a great performance and be moved because there's something about the healing that the person is going through in the situation that it transcends the screen, and it transcends into the audience or the TV of the home or on stage. And that person, if I'm going through some sort of healing, hopefully you're going to go through some sort of healing. And then we'll jump to it, but that's how I think After Forever really.
Yes, right. Right, absolutely, which is really was a breath of fresh air.
Thank you.
For so many people, and Michael, of course, with you as well, and
the late Michael Slade
passed recently, right? Exactly,
Yeah.
and our condolences. And you guys, how long did you guys know each other prior to that?
Well, this is the great story. Michael knew of me and knew me before I knew him. In 2014. I had moved back to New York, and I was working out at the gym, and I get a tap on the shoulder, and this gentleman says, "Are you Kevin Spirtas? Because if you are, I used to write for you when you were on Days of Our Lives." And in most of the soap opera world, there's a separation between actors and writers. They don't want you to see each other because they don't want you, I don't know, getting in good favor with the writer or something, getting better storyline. I don't know. But Michael and I met that day, and I was in this mode of looking and seeking some sort of writing partner, some sort of producing partner to create a show that I was interested in doing, because I was then 51, I think, and something like that. That's the math. I'll go with 51. And
you'd always round down if you want.
I know. I was in my early 50s. How about that? And truthfully, there was no parts that were being written for me, or I didn't see my name coming down the pike, with a part attached to it. So anyway, I said to Michael, "What are you doing? And do you want to create a new show?" I wanted to do something about a gay man in his early 50s who is now single and going back into the world of dating. And, he was like, "Oh, that sounds interesting." And, the old story is, guy walks into a gym, there's Michael. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So, guy walks into a gym, says, "I used to work with you and write for you, and let's, write a new show." And 6 Emmy Awards later. So we had released, Michael and I released season 1 of After Forever in 2018. And just after we had released the first season, he was diagnosed with this very rare cancer, not unlike the cancer that is talked about in season 1 and permeates throughout the season storytelling. And, life imitates art, and it was very tragic and very, he's here with us in spirit. The premise of the show was created because he had lost his partner about 2 years before I met him. And when we were discussing ideas and story about, he asked me, why is it he wanted to know why I thought maybe I wasn't with someone at the time. And I made a joke about how, have you heard me eat my food, whatever the joke is. And we were talking about that earlier. And
smack those gums.
And I said, I just haven't found the right person yet. It hasn't been, universally directed as such. And I asked him, "How about you?" And he said he had just lost his partner about 2 years later. And the next question, I said I was sorry, of course, and how did it happen? But the next question I had for him was, does he still talk to him? And Michael pondered my question and said, "Yeah, I guess I do talk to Richard." And I said, "Would you be amenable to creating a story, maybe close to that storyline, but we could tell the story in present day, we could tell it in flashbacks, and we could also tell it in present time, where my character Brian would conjure up the memory of Jason." And that's how After Forever was born, because love doesn't die. a relationship may end physically, but the relationship does not end. And your love for the person continues to grow, though they may not be here in physical form.
Absolutely.
So that's where After Forever was born. And as soon as we kind of set that in place, we had a story, and the story wrote itself. And Michael and I created scenarios and stories and ideas for scenes, and all of that general story outline. But Michael was the wordsmith, and I, to this day, am grateful for his ability to not only give all of us, but me, the opportunity to show a part of my heart and my spirit that I never had felt was given the opportunity in any of the projects that I had worked in earlier to that point.
Of all the things you've done, which have been extraordinary. Yeah. That's amazing. He was able to, you guys together in that way reach certain aspects and essences of yourself that you've been able to express through that project. Life-changing for you in a way, in many ways too, huh?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I was given another reprise in my career. I knew what kind of show we could do. Michael knew what kind of show we could do. He said, I'm not really good at raising money. I said, I'll raise the money. You write the words, and that's right. That was 50-50. And then if I have an issue with one of the words, we'll talk about it. But it was really an opportunity to be the most honest and the most vulnerable in a role. And our relationship for many years, because we knew each other since 2014, it was more about collaborator, work. It was more about creative process and being very respectful and careful not to diminish someone's idea, even if it wasn't going to be eventually the end result of a scene or of a arc of a story. And then of course we went off and started winning all these extraordinary awards and film festivals, and then 5 Emmys, the first year becoming the first LGBTQ drama to ever win 5 Emmys. And I'm so grateful that Michael was there and alive and got to experience that. But very soon after that, when he was diagnosed with his cancer, the relationship changed because we were still moving forward with creating, and he was told he had great. His outlook was, I'm going to be here for a very long time, and then that was changed halfway through the game, and then it was changed again, and so we became even closer friends and even closer confidants throughout the last 2 years, especially. And he was very scared, and I went to see him in hospice, and I said, I'm scared too. Let's be scared together. And then I said, you better, I won't swear, but I said, listen here, you mother, you better come back and visit and talk to me, because we wrote a show about it, and I'm going to be damned if you're going to just go away.
Yeah, how dare you? Come on. We're just getting going here.
So he's very present. And I know you said I had some news. I will say how present he is, because I'm sure he's pulling strings from the heavens. Today, this morning, After Forever was, we received a GLAAD award for now I just lost the category in my head. A special recognition award from the GLAAD, Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, and there it is, right there. And
Congratulations!
Thank you. And I just, that would be so exciting for him to know that this work that is not just gay thematic in storytelling, but it's also because it's about loss, and that's the universal theme, and everybody goes through loss. And when we go through it, we don't necessarily have the choice. But as independent producers of a series that's featuring a story about love and loss, especially and for gay men of a certain age, we are just over the moon, and we share the mission that GLAAD has to portray LGBTQ plus stories in the most honorable way. And we have a season 3 written, and we will get that done as soon as COVID lifts, so.
That's exciting. That is exciting.
So thank you, GLAAD, for reaching out and telling us about our special acknowledgement this morning. We are over the moon.
Wonderful comments as well coming in from our loveity viewers as well. My friend Christine saying, glad you were able to share this touching and loving story. Sorry for the loss of your special friend.
Thanks, Christine.
She's in North Carolina. Juanita in South Africa. What a beautiful story. So sorry for your loss, Kevin. Merlin in Ontario, Canada. He was lucky to have you as well.
Thank you.
And Maureen says, loss is never easy. I'm so sorry for yours. So sorry for your loss, Kevin, from Linda in Florida. Mary Bishop in Florida as well. Lots of loveity on our show, my friend.
And there's to your friends out of the country and who are your loveities away from America and the UK. Just so you know, After Forever is a short form series told in 8 episodes. Each episode's about 10 or 11 minutes, and we only stream on Amazon in America and the UK. But if you'd like to see it worldwide, you can go to bingenetworks.tv, and you can purchase pay-per-view all over the world. And Riley's Unforgettable School Project, which is the special we just did during COVID, is soon to be up there as well.
That's
so
fantastic.
The two seasons are up now.
Are up as well. So how have you been getting by and being creative and staying sane and positive and connected through all of the craziness that we've all been experiencing in the last 10, 11 months or so here?
Well, I am really not immune to the overall low-grade depression vibration that has overtaken this planet. I made a pact with several other people that, we all need to come out of this pandemic better than the way we came in. Otherwise, it's a total loss. And, there was a whole political, energy that was suppressing some people and a lot of people. And I feel very grateful that for those who may be listening, I'm very grateful we have a new transition of I think, real love in the White House. I'll say it just like that, because it's not about Democratic or Republican anymore. It's about love versus hate, and that's where we need to move our energy toward. So that lift of energy has allowed me to breathe a little easier. I will say that, Michael and I had written season 1 and season 2 and 3 to be filmed back to back. And back a year ago, or just a little over a year ago, we couldn't create the time frame. We lost some different actors at different times. So we thought, just let's do season 2, and we'll do season 3 this year. And then the pandemic hit. So we felt very, very bad about our hands being tied, not being able to step out and create another momentum that we were kind of feeling already. And we didn't want to change season 3 into a COVID story. So Michael and I and Alison Van Oor, our incredible producer, we sat and thought of a way to stay current and relevant during this COVID time. And that's when we created this story called After Forever, Riley's Unforgettable School Project, which is a 30-minute or so special. And it's a documentary style telling of sorry, I thought I lost you. It's a documentary style story about Riley, who gets a school project during COVID, and therefore is asking everyone to join him in this project about answering 3 questions about the most unforgettable person he's ever met. So it's a really, really wonderful little story.
So you've been staying creative and trying to balance things out and go with the flow and be positive. And
yeah, and we wrote this story, we filmed it. It's now out on Amazon as well, and it is a labor of love to continue the story moving forward and not having to wait until COVID, lifts its ban. Because if you were one of the actors, Jim, it would be very much like you in your own house. I'd have to send you the computer, and I have to send you the camera and the microphone and the ring light, and we direct you over Zoom. It was crazy, but I think we did a pretty good job of it. The 11-year-old man going on 40. His name is Finn Douglas, and he plays Riley. And if any of you have seen him in the series, he's a very talented little actor, but he's also a budding musical performer, and he's an incredibly gifted songwriter. Mm-hmm. And Michael had the idea, wouldn't it be kind of neat to see if like Riley could write a song for Jason? Mm. And he wrote a song, and we put it in the series. We put it in the special, and we didn't touch a lyric. We didn't touch a note. You have to see it. It's beautiful. It's called Forever There. Beautiful song.
That's fantastic. That's great. Let's go back in time a little bit.
Yeah, too. Sure.
You've been making your mark for a little bit.
Oh my God. Okay. You have scanned everything.
I thought what do you mean you said you weren't a stunt man? I don't know about that. I was not a stunt man. Not yet, right?
Not yet.
All life's a stunt.
That's right.
You either do the stunt or you're stunted.
Or why don't they start stunt casting, and use me to be, there you go.
Exactly. So cool, huh?
Yeah.
St. Louis. Class acts.
I was on the cover of the St. Louis magazine, and that made Mom and Dad very proud.
Early beginning. Did you do modeling? Some modeling along the way in the beginning?
I was never really tall enough to be quote unquote the model size.
The runway type.
Or everybody wants tall. I don't know why. But again, that's why we created After Forever, because I was tailoring it to this 5'9.5", 10-ish, So it's a funny story. When I went to audition for The Boy from Oz to be Hugh Jackman's standby, the producers and directors were, "How tall are you?" And I'd say, "I'm 5'10 and a half. Put me in heels, I'll, whatever." And it was to play the role of Peter Allen, to stand by for the role he played. And they kept asking me over and over and over. And I finally just said, guys, I'm a grower, not a shower. Put me in, a high heel, and I'll be, unfortunately, I never went on for Mr. Jackman, and that's okay. He was an incredible friend. He's become an incredible friend and an amazing performer and teacher. So I owe a lot. I owe a lot of my sanity to him. I'll tell you why. We just talked about this the other day. Mm-hmm. Hugh Jackman has one of the most incredible abilities to stand center stage, to stand center sidewalk, to stand center anywhere, and offer an extraordinary amount of love and generosity. It's amazing. And I would watch him night after night do this as a performer, as a person, with the fans after the show. And I just the other day, I wrote him and I said, I got to tell you, when I think about issues that I've had to deal with through this past year, I always hold on to what I learned from Jackman. And it's like, what would Mr. Jackman do? And I know, and he knows I say this, but he's such a lovely human being. And I couldn't be more grateful for having had that opportunity. And I'm really probably a better man in this life for knowing him.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Somebody else that I told you before we went live on the air that gives his best and says that you're a great guy. Kevin Sizemore, who was on our show a couple of weeks ago as a guest, who's also a great guy too.
And he's got great initials.
Yeah, doesn't he? From Kevin to Kevin.
That's right. KS to KS. Boom. Yeah.
And then let's take you down memory lane a little bit here.
Okay, sure.
Boom.
Oh yeah, Soap Opera Digest.
Of course, right.
Miss Stephanie Sloan asked me those 5 questions. I can't remember what they are. I can't really see them, but it's somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a great time on Days of Our Lives. As a matter of fact, yeah, I went to, then that was a little feature of me talking about going to Las Vegas and playing Corny Collins in the musical Hairspray, which I loved. I love that show. I love that show. My friend Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman, the creators of that show. And I got to work with Jack O'Brien, who was the director. And of course, Harvey Fierstein, who I love.
Willie in Netherlands is being taken back by that behind you on the brick wall. Is that a mirror?
This is a mirror, and I'll tell you, because it's a brick wall, but it reflects the door, which is right there. So I sort of see a window there again, and right there is my chorus line hat, my original chorus line hat. I pulled it out because we lost the great Bob Avian, who was the co-creator and co-choreographer of A Chorus Line and Dreamgirls with Michael Bennett and other shows. And he was a very, very big influence in my life. So speaking of Chorus Line, there's the one hat right there.
That is incredible. And I believe there's a little kitty to the right of you.
Oh, this is my little girl, Vita.
They love animals on this show.
Can you say something? She's a little love. She's just a little love. There you go. There's some live view around the apartment.
Live view around the apartment. House. Yeah. How old is your cat?
She is about to turn 3.
Wow.
And I named her Vida, Vida, because I was ready to bring in love in my life, and she's a little life. And that kitties, yes. Thanks, Kathleen.
Yeah, loves it. Cool stuff. Christine saw Hugh Jackman and Boy from Oz, 2004. Huge crowd outside the stage door. After impressive and wonderful for you to be the standby for Hugh. Fabulous show.
Yeah, Peter Allen. Everyone always said, weren't you mad you didn't get to go on? And I said, I knew the job that I was taking on, and that was to stand by. But the thing that was so extraordinary about that show is that Peter Allen has been, he was an incredible soundtrack for my life. And, at an early age, Don't Cry Out Loud, Melissa Manchester sang that song. And Olivia Newton-John sang, I Honestly Love You. And as I got older and older, and I would hear songs come out on the radio, Frank Sinatra even recorded a song called You and I, We Wanted It All. And Peter Allen, of course, was one of the composers of That's What Friends Are For. So, Peter Allen was always there and present. But early on in my days in New York, I remember walking into a friend's apartment, and I heard on a record, remember those?
Yes,
LPs?
I have many.
There was a record playing, and I said, who's that singing that Melissa Manchester song? I was hearing this guy play the piano and singing, Baby Cried the Day the Circus Came to Town. And I went, who is that? And he goes, that's the guy who wrote it. So I was turned on to this extraordinary catalog of music. So I'm actually, you asked me how I'm staying creative. I have now begun to set songs aside, great Peter Allen songs aside, and I'm working on an evening of music about Peter Allen, or how his music was the background or the soundtrack to my life thus far.
What's amazing and pretty cool is a wonderful theme here of you really celebrating and paying homage to some of these terrific people who have thoroughly influenced your life in so many impactful ways, and just in the way that you're expressing yourself about each one of these people who've touched your life. I think that's a beautiful thing.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks. We don't get anywhere without the help of others, and I wouldn't be here in this particular outline, shall we say. If it wasn't for the way I've been shaped by my music, by my music teacher, by Hugh Jackman, by my jobs, in a chorus line, by meeting Michael, especially the legacy that Michael and I got to co-create together was so, it's sort of like lightning in a bottle. I remember thinking to myself the night we won all those Emmys, and I came home and it was a very quiet, voiceless voice. And I went, got it. And I wasn't like, I was at the theater that night and we were celebrating and hoping and hollering and drinking. And, it was amazing. And, to watch friends, watch me from where we had all started to, it was extraordinary. But what I was going to say was, it was a very quiet, like cloaking of emotion that fell over me. And I just remember going, okay, that's what that feels like. That's wow. And it was so simple and so easy. And I've also found that the body reacts to things so similarly in different situations. For example, I remember when Michael had first shared with me, he had some issues with his health, and it started to go downhill eventually. The anxiety or the overwhelming energy of fear of the unknown. Let me say the unknown. Was so it was so highly vibrating in my body, not unlike the unknown factor of walking into that same Emmy auditorium, awaiting, are we going to win? Oh my God, we've worked so hard. Oh my God, it would be so great. And you don't want to go to that place that it'll happen because you could lose it, all that stuff. But it's that same feeling. And when I have found myself, in a state of overwhelm or a state of the unknown.
Or you're thinking about your own mortality too.
Oh, yeah, I kind of try. I don't dismiss why I'm thinking about it, but I do now look at, all right, what is the gift here, and how can I change the tilt of that energy and move it toward a positive thing? The body doesn't know it any differently.
No.
The body just feels it, and we decide how we're going to deal with it. So I think to be in a healthier state of being and a healthier state of mind, I try to go through the sadness and the feelings as authentically as I possibly know, but I do try to shift it. I have to tell you, I did know you were going to put pictures of Michael and I up there, which is I'm always surprised and shocked about how the emotion comes over and overtakes, because
Marsha Lyons says, I love how open you are. And it is, it's a beautiful thing. It's raw emotion. It's deep friendship and respect. And, you're expressing it. And it's a beautiful thing, because there's a lot of people right now who are actually hurting for many different reasons.
And my heart goes out to every single one of them. And I know that sounds so general, but I'm going through it too, folks. I'm going through it too. And we'll get through it. We'll get through it. And
when they see somebody who they respect and enjoy, that's in movies and television and Broadway and all these things, and here you are expressing, hey guys, I'm human too, that has a lot of weight to it and a lot of power to it. And that is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. It's all we're here for, really. It's all we're here for, is for each other. And I can honestly say, I may not have thought that early on in not a glib way or not a pompous way, but you focus on the things you think you need, and then slowly and surely and steadily you're righted back to center. And
you're not the first one that has that's in entertainment and what have you that has said that to me. Where over time and life experiences and wisdom gathering, all the things that happen, that sort of turn happens, and it can really be life-changing in such an incredible way.
Yeah, I'm grateful. I mean, people say, would you go back and change it? And I have to say no. I mean, I'd like Michael to still be here. I'd like Michael to have had a outlook and of life and continuation, and see what other creative projects we could do. But there's a line that Richard Bach wrote in one of his books. I think it was called The Illusionist, called, if you're no longer here, it means your work is done.
Yes.
And I know that's sort of a simplistic, but it makes me want to do my work. It makes me want to suit up every day and continue doing my work. And Alison Van Oor, my producer, and I, we are creating some new projects outside of After Forever. And my season 1 director, Jennifer Pepperman, she and I are looking to create a project together right now that's in the works. So keep yourself focused and busy, and do what you love, folks.
Yes.
Do what you love, because
yeah, right, exactly. Do what you love what you do, and when you do, then it's not even work, it's just joy and blessing. And one of the other things,
it's loveity is what it is.
It's loveity. That's what it is. You nailed it. It is loveity. Exactly. And so is singing. And you've had a chance to do that with CDs. And tell us about this. Some of the audience might not realize this.
Kevin Spirtas, Night and Days. I love to sing and dance. And one of the things about going back to New York and going to Vegas was to be back on stage. But this evening of music is a autobiographical story about my nights on Broadway and my days on Days of Our Lives. And I sort of track I sort of track my story about growing up in St. Louis and wanting to be a performer, and how I would stay up and watch all the late shows, the movie musicals, and how I would audition for a Broadway show, and keep going. And my dream to be on Broadway and star on Broadway, when my mom's dream was for me to grow up and be a doctor. So her dream kind of came true when I landed the role on Days. But there's a lot of humor in this show. I do a lot of special material, but I also do some of the great songs from the Broadway musical world. Songs from Camelot, songs from Chicago. Boy from I do a whole section on Peter Allen and Hugh Jackman, but because I do have this Australian accent and I have to keep it going. There's classic Carousel and oh my God, I'm blanking. I'm trying to go down my list. Miss Saigon, Jekyll and Hyde, Phantom of the Opera, Sunset Boulevard, on and on and on, and a lot of the Fred and Ginger movies. And, movies.
You're checking off all the greats. Absolutely. We've got another one here too. Tell us about that one.
Oh, okay. Well, The Sweetest of Nights and the Finest of Days is actually my encore song in my show Night and Days. But this song, I love to leave the audience with something very easy, and it's kind of a prayer, I wish you the sweetest of nights and the finest of days. And when I had left the show, Days of Our Lives,
they're going to want more of that.
So I had left the show, and
something started here.
I know.
Did I hear him sing? So
I left the show, and they called me back to sing at Chloe's wedding, and they wanted me to sing this big jazzy number. And I remember telling Steve Wyman, who was the producer at the time, going, I don't like that song. And he goes, well, it's the song you're going to sing. And I said, well, honestly, I'm not under contract to come here and do the show. And if I'm going to come back, I'd like to sing something that is meaningful to me and important to me. And it would be aimed for a daughter getting married. I didn't want to be this big showy. It just, sometimes certain story points don't necessarily match the story being told. And I just felt I had an opportunity to fight for this song. And this is a song that my friend Shelley Markham and Judith V. Orst had written for a musical they did called Alexander and the Very Angry, Upset, whatever day that show. And they let me sing it. And so that single that you saw there, that little single that you put the image up of, was a single that we had sold. And 50 I think 50% of every sale for that single went to the Red Cross during the Hurricane Katrina efforts. So
Beautiful. That is beautiful. Speaking also of, and that's what I said in the introduction too, you like to give back, and you're very good at that and very conscious of giving back and supporting people and lifting people up and inspiring them. And that's beautiful. Let's talk about, of course, Days of Our Lives. How did that all transpire, that opportunity to get that role on Days of Our Lives?
I was at a very, very, very low in-between point of my career. I did not have an agent. I did not have people sending me out for auditions. And I was just, I think I was probably waiting tables somewhere at the time. Nothing against waiting tables, but there's a responsibility that one has to take in their career if they're going to want to do something that is as challenging sometimes as making it in this industry. But I did get cast in this very low budget, hole in the wall equity waiver show called Three Guys Naked from the Waist Down. And it's not what you think. It's about three comedians. It's a musical, and three comedians come together, and they all admit that when you're on stage as a comedian, you feel naked from the waist down. So that's the show. And I was doing this show, and the casting director at the time, who was casting Days at that time, Fran Bascom, who is no longer with us. We lost her a few years back. She came to the theater and she said, "Kevin, I've been looking all over for you. You don't have an agent. You're not in the players directory." This is before Facebook, folks. This is before cell phones. And
Backstage magazine.
Yeah. Drama
logs.
Yeah. But literally, she came she'd heard that I was doing the show. She loved theater. And she was a cat lover too. Oh my God. We used to So anyway, Fran called me in and she said, "Would you do this 2-day role?" And I said, "Sure. You're going to pay me?" And we did. And I went in the first day, and this was during the time that Mike and Carrie were being pushed together to create some sort of drama to cause someone to fall out of love and to be the, and I was the impetus, and I was being the one driving that train. Anyway, I went in, and I remember from my days of being on Valley of the Dolls and Rituals that, when you're a day player, you kind of you're expected to come in and just hit your marks and do your job, and really just hope you don't, run into the furniture or, step on the star. And I had a lot of dialogue that day. And so did Mike. So did Rourke Critchlow, who plays Mike. And he said, "Hey, do you want to run over some of these lines?" I said, "Oh, I'd love that." So I just did that, worked with him. But I went in there knowing that this had to be a domain that I was comfortable in, because I figured that was going to show or wasn't going to show. And I remember play acting like this is my play yard, my playground. And I remember going in there and just having freedom for some reason, because I wasn't nothing to lose there. And that night, it was a long day at the set, and I went home to learn the lines for the next day. And Fran called me up at about 10 o'clock, and she said, "Kevin, what did you do on the set today?" I just got off the phone with the producer. He never calls me. "What did you do? He loved you." I went, "Oh, bury the lead." So she said, "You should go back and do exactly." I mean, he just said, "Where'd you find him?" Blah, 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 blah. So I did 2 days on Days of Our Lives, and basically the very, very end of 96. And in 1997, 8 months later, she called me up and she said, "Are you sitting down? They've written your character on. And they want to bring you back." And I went, "Oh, really? Yeah." So that turned into 7.5 years. And I'm grateful every day for her. And then Patrika Darbo, who played Nancy. And then, we just became the number one non-conventional couple of daytime, and we loved it, and we had a blast, and we're still friends, and we support each other, and we go to each other's projects. And I will also say this, it is Patrika Darbo's responsibility. I have to tip my hat to her, because when I was living in New York, she called me up one day and she said, are you available on such and such a night? And do you have a tux? And I went, what are you talking about? And she said, oh yeah, we're going to be presenters at the ISA Awards. And I went, what? She goes, just shut up and come with,
Just come.
And I went with her, not knowing what to expect. And there was every soap star and every non-soap star at this red carpet at the New World Stages. They were renting this theater. And it was that night that I remember sitting in that audience, looking at the content that was being shown and being judged and being awarded, better than most everything I've seen on television. And probably at that point, better than half the stuff I'd seen in the theater, in the movie theaters at that time. And that's also the night that Sebastian the Cause had won one or two awards for his show called Hustling. And what I had seen him do on the film in those scenes, and what he had said was such a, it just sort of, it's attracted me to him. And I said to him, I rushed him after the event. And I said, hi, congratulations, Sebastian. I'm Kevin Spirtas. I'm an actor. He goes, I know who you are, Kevin.
I know who you
are. Great. Listen, if you do a season 2, would you please have me? I'll play the maid. I don't care. I just really, and he laughed about it, but he called me up and he wrote a role in for season 2 and season 3 of his now completed series called Hustling. And it was there that I was inspired by him and how he went into creating something for himself, and that it was personal and it was honest. And that's the ingredient you needed. And I said, what am I in the need to be honest about, and what is personal to me? And not too long after that did I run into Michael at the gym. And there was After Forever.
I tell you, it's amazing.
It's all these universal crossing points.
Everything is small world and interwoven and interconnected. And
I'm going to give a shout out to Sebastian right now, who lives in Los Angeles, and he just completed this podcast called Chasing Happy. And I tell you, people, if you want to see how similar every person on this planet is, even if you don't know him, and even if you don't know anything about him, you will find something in his story, in his truthful, integral telling of his entire life, how he came to be who he is now. I'm telling you, I just wept, because he and I are nothing alike in our world of life, but we are so much alike. And like Maya Angelou says, we are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike.
That's really true. I mean, it really is. And I think people are realizing that more than ever. We really, really are. We all bleed red, and, we all have a lot of the same feelings and fears and worries and triumphs. And
I'll go through loss.
Yes.
I want to be loved.
Absolutely.
We all want to be on the Gym Masters show and be a loveity.
That's right. You got it.
Right.
Exactly. You got it. And then some get to be on things like The Facts of Life. Dwight is begging. Dwight's been posting, please mention Facts of Life and Rituals.
I love that you're okay. So yesterday
we do our research.
Yesterday we lost.
The stunt thing, I don't know where that came in, but
I know. Well, it's probably my MDB page that can't be scratched off. Yesterday, the world lost an incredible talent, Cloris Leachman.
Yeah,
who replaced Betty Garrett on.
That's right. And do you remember?
That's not Betty Garrett. That's
Charlotte Ray.
Charlotte Ray. I did two different fundraisers. Betty Garrett and Charlotte Ray.
On Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah, and she was also on Broadway with me and Meet Me in St. Louis. So that's why she
was. I forget the last name, but she was the neighbor to Archie in the Family, and with the Italian husband, and Charlotte Ray. Way back before The Facts of Life. Mm-hmm. She played Molly, the mail lady on Sesame Street.
Yes, she did.
Remember that?
Yes, she did. And she was a big Broadway actor.
Yes. Yeah.
So she went off to do, I think, Different Strokes or one of those shows. But she left to go on her own. And Cloris Leachman replaced her. And that was the second time that I worked with Cloris Leachman. The first time was when the Ace Awards were being introduced to the world, because there was this thing called cable.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I don't even think they have the Ace Awards anymore. But and Cloris Leachman was the host that year, and I was a singer dancer behind her. But anyway, Cloris was. I would see her after that, and I go, "Do you remember?" She goes, "Oh yeah, you're the 10." Because it was called the ratings game, that episode.
Yep. Right.
So, so yes, I did A Facts of Life, and I haven't seen it. I think I haven't seen any of those people around. It's such a different.
Kim Fields and
Kim Fields is around, and
Nancy McKeon, and
who played
Blair.
Blair? No,
Tootie was Kim Fields, right.
Put the picture back up there, and
you can sort of
what's her name in the lower right corner?
In the lower right corner, yeah.
She played Nat. Yeah,
She played Natalie.
Yeah, I can't remember her first name right now. I have run into her a couple of different times here in LA.
Yeah, she's good friends with, and we just had him on the show too, Glenn Scarpelli.
Oh wow!
One day at a time. He's a good friend, and he was just on the show. You also mentioned Melissa Manchester, and she is just gold. She was on the show maybe about a month ago as well, and she was talking about the industry and the business and how she got started and everything. She just really was amazing.
Melissa Manchester. I have a great little story about Melissa.
Oh, do you?
Melissa Manchester, who I grew up idolizing because she was Melissa Manchester. One of my very first acting teachers out here, I think she was my first acting teacher out here, was Nina Foch. She was a very well respected actress, and she brought me into her class, and then she had a master class. And in this master class was myself, Claudia Launo, Karen Dilley, Melissa Manchester, and Barry Manilow. This was our class.
Holy cow.
And Barry wanted to learn how to act more through his singing, and so did Melissa. And they had worked together. But I really that was our crisscrossing, and we didn't do too many scenes together. But years later, we were doing a benefit. And I said, "Remember that class that Nina Foch had?" And she goes, "Oh, right. Hi, nice to meet you." And we were backstage, but there's a show, and then we would see each other at events and benefits. But there's a gentleman by the name of Jim Caruso who does a show called
Birdland. Yeah,
he's at Birdland. He does Cast Party at Birdland.
Yeah, good friend too.
And he would come out here in LA. I would sing in New York if I was there, but he came out here and would do it once a month. And early on last year, I guess I saw Melissa in the audience, and I said, "I want to do a new show." Oh, I sang something from Peter Allen, and she congratulated me. And I said, "I want to do a duet. I want to do the duet that you did with Peter." And she goes, "Let's do it." So we practiced, and I got to sing a song with Melissa Manchester at Jim Caruso's Cast Party here in LA just before the lights went out on theater.
Just before
and she is so, and she also, and this is the magic of our business. She had worked with Michael Slade and created a musical years ago. So she knew Michael, and she was very, very supportive and of course loved him very much.
Absolutely. Mindy Cohn.
Oh, thank you, Mindy Cohn.
And Blair was Lisa Whelchel.
Yeah.
Nancy McKeon, and then Tootie Fields. Tootie.
Kim
Fields was Tootie.
You know who sang the theme song?
Facts of Life. Who sang the theme song?
Gloria Loring.
And was it written by Alan Thicke, who wrote so many theme songs?
The late Alan Thicke, yeah.
Alan Thicke.
You take the bad Facts of Life, yeah. I can't remember the words exactly. If I don't memorize them as dialogue, forget it. I can't.
And then you were also on this.
I was an instructor. I was an aerobics instructor. I maybe had one line.
That's probably where they got the stunt thing from, the aerobics. That's probably.
Who knows? But my greatest one line was in Apt Pupil. And I don't know if you know about this, but I was in a show called End of the World Party on off Broadway in LA here.
Yeah.
And Bryan Singer came and saw the show, and Bryan Singer was jumping into this. He had just done Usual Suspects, and I didn't know he was Bryan Singer. And we were all sitting around a table and we're talking, and he said, "Oh, you're really good in the show." And blah blah. Yeah. What do you do? He says, "I'm a director." I said, "Oh, like what?" And he goes, "Oh, I just did this movie, Usual Suspects." I went, "You're Bryan Singer? Oh my God!" So, I said, "What are you doing next? I want to work with you." You know, that's how I am. If you do something that arrests me, I reach out and go, "I want that. I want to be part of that.
I want to be a part of that vibe." Yeah.
So anyway, he said, "There's not too much in this new movie," but he had me play the ambulance attendant in Apt Pupil, where I literally, in the scene, taking Sir Ian McKellen out of the ambulance, or he's on the ambulance, he's on the gurney, and there's Brad Renfro, and I turn to him and I say, "Good thing you called when you did, because you saved this man's life." And then in between takes, Ian McKellen, who's laying there covered up, you know, in the blanket with the oxygen tank, because he's wearing oxygen in the scene. He kept taking this oxygen tank off, and he'd say, "Ambulance attendant number 1, is that a oxygen tank in your bed, or are you happy to see me?" You know, it's all this.
Sounds just like him.
Right.
To be involved with him is absolutely amazing too.
Yeah.
The Hills Have Eyes too. I mean, your range is incredible.
My range is, if I was able to work, that was good for me. Hills Have Eyes 2, the original, is the sequel to the original Wes Craven, Hills Have Eyes. And I was really...
We had Suze Lanier Bramlett on the show, I'd say in the summertime, who was the daughter, the blonde, in the original Hills Have Eyes.
Yes. And Dee Wallace was in the original too.
Wallace too.
Who's a good friend of mine now. But I got to work with Wes Craven. That was my first movie.
Unbelievable, huh?
Yeah.
What was that like, being on that set?
I had no idea what I was doing. I knew I wanted to be in movies. I knew I wanted to do movies, and I just like. I think I even probably was probably one of those guys who memorized the whole script like you do in a play. And then I realized you didn't have to go into it until you do each scene. You know, you go in scene by scene, day by day. And John Laughlin was in that movie. Peter Frechette, who I'm still in touch with. And I don't know. And I'll think of her name. She went on to Johnson. Susie John? No. Michelle? No.
Want to phone a friend?
I haven't run into her, but I saw her once. She was on. She's on so much. Anyway, she's really good. African American.
Johnson.
I don't. Everyone, look at it up.
Yeah, exactly. You even did Quantum Leap.
That was one of my favorite shows ever. Scott Bakula grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, Kirkwood, Missouri, actually, and I used to watch him perform at the JCA, the Jewish Community Center, and he would do musicals, and I got to know him outside of the business. He came out here to LA in a show called Nightclub Confidential. He's actually one of the original cast members of Three Guys Naked from the Waist Down. Anyway, I got to know him through friends of friends, and one day I walked on the set and he goes, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I'm in this episode." He goes, "Oh my God, that's great." And it was great. We had a great show. And I remember the great thing about that first season of Quantum Leap, they took part of one of my scenes and they put it into the opening credits. And I would walk to the mailbox every week and get Penny Johnson. Yes, Penny Johnson. Yes. I knew it was a Johnson.
Dwight for the score.
Thank you, Dwight. Love you, Dwight. Loveity to Dwight.
Loveity to Dwight.
Penny Johnson. Anyway, I see Scott quite a bit, and I run into him. Such a great man. And that show had magic in it.
It really did.
That show was about going back and righting the wrong and forgiveness and figuring it out. And I just loved that magical leap into storytelling. to make a pun.
Mm.
Oh yeah, Valley of the Dolls. Yeah,
Valley of the Dolls.
That was just before. Well, that was a couple years before that. Sharon Case. It's Sharon Case on the right, standing. Sally Kirkland, and then see, I'm really bad with names right now. Anyway, Sharon Case, who's now in Y&R, played my girlfriend on Valley of the Dolls.
Valley of the Dolls.
And she then went on to do Young and the Restless. And I've been reunited with one of our executive producers, Barbara Corday, not to be confused with relating to Ken Corday.
Right.
But Barbara Corday is she's back in my life. I'm back in hers. She's just a great lady, and she's so supportive of After Forever and all that I've done. And God, you're really taking me down memory lane here.
And Dwight needs to hear about Rituals. He's dying to hear about Rituals.
I was Tom Gallagher. That came about 1983, 84-ish, and Felice Sampler, Ken Schreiner, Joanne Flug, Tina Louise, who played Ginger on Gilligan's Island, replaced Joanne Flug. Mark Papel. Mary Beth Evans Schwartz, who replaced one of the girls who's now a big Days of Our Lives doctor. Who else was on that show? Gina Gallego played my love interest. Felice Sampler, and I'm George Lazenby. Lazenby? Wasn't he a Bond? George Lazenby.
Rituals, yeah.
I would have pulled you really great shots had I known you were going to go all this, but
all the way back, right?
Yeah.
What was it like being on that series?
You know, it was a syndicated soap, and it was just before syndication really popped. We were the first show that was showing. We worked every single day, like a regular soap does now, and it was showing in daytime in certain markets and showing at 8 p.m. in certain markets. So it was trying to do that crossover thing, but it was one of the ones that didn't hit because syndication wasn't the CW or the, whatever, TNT or AMC or all the USA Network, all those new networks that were
CW and all these, right?
So I was excited to be working. It was my first. It was a really big job for me. That was the first of the big job,
national
national notoriety and a good amount of money. As a matter of fact, I used to thank my agents for help making me rich, you alls. Get it, rich?
It's there too, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Rituals gang.
Gosh, I haven't seen that. And there's a white-haired gentleman I don't know who this is in the center. Just off to his right is Gina Gallego, the third lady on the left there, and above him is Jorn Winther, and Jorn was a producer on All My Children for many years. I'm not in this picture. Take it off.
I know.
Oh, and John Lindstrom, who's now on GH. Yes, I forgot. He replaced Mark Papel. That's right. That's right.
Oh, Rituals.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Dwight is very, very happy now. Dwight says,
Ken Schreiner. Yes, I mentioned Ken.
Yeah. They're loving all the stories going down memory lane here. Yeah, bring it back. I mean, it's amazing when you look back at it and you're like, my God, sometimes you even forget about some of the things that you're in. A lot of people say, oh, yeah, I was in that. Oh, yeah, that was that.
I forgot I did that.
Even if it's just one episode or whatever, you're still in it.
Yeah, I did. I have to say, oh, yeah. Pamela Anderson, VIP. What was I in? I don't even remember what it was. I was a reality show producer. Bad guy.
Even Friends.
I played Dr. Craig Wesley. I made an appearance as Dr. Craig Wesley on Friends. It was a lot of fun. And I was just going to say to you though, recently, oh yeah, Defying Gravity.
I like that.
Jesus Christ!
You go from Quantum Leap to Defying Gravity.
Yeah, well, actually, that's 25 years ago, because we are coming up on the 25th anniversary of one of my other favorite films was called Green Plaid Shirt, where I played a gay man in his early 30s who dies of AIDS, but it's all through flashbacks, and it's a brilliant movie that was very well received at that time, and it's celebrating its 25th anniversary this summer. So, God's Helper was a Scott McCulloch's. I can't remember his last how you say it. Scott McCulloch. He did a student film with independent, and yeah, we went out in the desert. Almost got bit by a rattlesnake.
Did you really?
Almost got bit. I mean, I didn't almost get bit. He didn't go. But he heard it. I was like, "There's a rattlesnake!"
The story's better when you go.
But I was going to say something about taking the opportunity to come out of this better than coming into it. I have a closet full of boxes and papers and photos that I have saved for the years and years and years of my time out here in LA and New York and this career. And I went through a good 75% of them. There's still stuff in there, but I scanned pictures that I wanted to keep, and then I let them go. And things that I held on to that I felt were important because it sort of defined me, or I thought if you can look to that piece of material right there on that shelf, that will make sure everyone knows that I did it. Well, guess what? There's an internet, and you know what I've done, so I don't have to have it anymore.
You don't have to put it all together.
And, I don't have to keep the scripts. I don't have to.
We're gonna have a yard sale soon after COVID.
No, but I thought someday I'll sell some collector. Dwight, I'll get Dwight. But there's a lot of memorabilia in there, and a lot of it I held on to because so much of the people involved in the past are gone. And I thought, even on an unconscious level, if they were in that box, in that closet, in that photo album, they're still here. Yes. And I kind of did this really, I did a really big, I put on great music, and I looked at these photo albums, and I really kind of had this cathartic letting go, tears, laughter, memories. I'd call people up and I'd scan the picture and go, remember this, Yep. So there was a really great, I need to continue with that because I'm still here in lockdown in LA, as we all are. But I think there's something to be said about really, if we can be okay on our own right now, if we can really be right here and now, and know that the future doesn't exist and the past doesn't exist. We don't get it until we get it. And I feel that that's sort of what this is about, this universal lockdown, because we have to change it. We have to change it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Here's another one for you.
Albino Farm, yes. I played the only albino in the movie. And had you told me you were going to show it, I would have pulled the picture up.
Yeah.
All right, what else you got? Okay, Bloodbound. That was recently, and that was a movie I did in New York. I'm really in. I have like, if you blink, you miss me. I'm at the very top of the movie, but Richard, the director, Richard LeMay. Thank you. I met Richard LeMay while I was back in New York, right before doing After Forever, and his husband, Mike McGowan, was actually one of the people that I called upon to help do a reading, kind of a stage reading of After Forever when we first presented it to a group of money people, so you say. And Mike played the role of Jason at that time, because we kind of knew that Mitchell was going to do it, but I needed someone who had the really strong acting chops to do it. And sure enough, Mike McGowan in season 2 played my love interest. And then he broke up with me in season 2. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Tina asks, Kevin, you had such an interesting and fabulous career. Have you ever entertained the idea of writing a memoir?
I've got stories. I haven't entertained that thought of a memoir, but I think the closest thing I have at this, I mean, if I'm inspired to do it, let it come to me. But right now, the umbrella that I think that would fall under would be continuing to create projects and to find and source projects that tell part of my story, tell part of my truth, and tell part of the way I feel. Because again, as I say, when I jump into a part that arrests me, it's going to somehow universally connect with you. And hopefully, that's why I said, go listen to this podcast, Chasing Happy, because Sebastian is an incredible example of how he's just telling story that is very personal to him, and it's his life. That's kind of a memoir. Maybe I'll do a podcast. Maybe Sebastian will take me to the next podcast. But I really, I have other things that I want to do that are outside of this. We'll see.
Absolutely. Going back in time a little bit.
Oh, Tina and Nick. I just talked to Laura Park Lincoln the other day.
Friday the 13th. Yeah.
Part 7, The New Blood. That seems to be the fan favorite of a lot of them because of her ability to be like Carrie, at the have the telekinetic powers. Yeah.
What was it like working on that?
You know what? It was a tedious work, a bit of work. I'll tell you why. We had 12 weeks that we were in. We were doing this on a set, and we were also going to the Panhandle of Alabama, or we were going near the Panhandle of Florida in Alabama.
Yeah.
And it was the 80s, and Lar and I at the time did not actually get along. We came to our craft from different areas, and it kind of caused a little bit of butting sometimes. And there was all this rumor, oh my God, they hate each other, and we just were working the best we could. It wasn't until years later that we ran into each other at a convention, signing autographs. And this was another child of God that I got to recognize outside of the set. And she had been through her trials and tribulations, and I had been through some of my trials and tribulations. And this is years and years ago. But I love Lar because of how she's been able to continue moving forward in her life and in her career. And she's had some great successes. And she also has had some great loss.
Yeah.
Personal loss. And what was extraordinary about seeing her about a year and a half ago, maybe a little bit, she had seen After Forever, and she called me and she said, are you going to this con? Because I want to see you, I want to talk to you and make sure we have time together. And she sat me down and she said, I don't know how you and Michael did it, but you hit every single point about losing a spouse. And she had lost her husband years ago. But what I thanked her for was her enthusiasm, because she rented a dress and she brought herself out here to Los Angeles during the Emmys, and she was screaming louder than anybody else I know when we won. And she's just great. I love you, Laura Park Lincoln. I love you. I love you. I love you.
It's a beautiful story, my friend. Beautiful. Here's another blast.
Well, that's
that is the cover there.
Uh-huh. Daredevil, yeah. I'm in the director's cut of Daredevil. I have a scene with Ben Affleck and Jon Favreau. I played an attorney, a prosecutor or something, and it was cut out of the original. But Mark Steven Johnson, here's another little story. Mark Steven Johnson who wrote and directed this movie called Simon Birch, which is based on the John Irving book called A Prayer for Owen Meany. And it's one of my favorite stories. And the movie was one of my favorite movies. And I was sitting at a birthday party for Mark Shaman, creator of many, many things in musicals, Hairspray being one of them. And I was sitting next to his wife at the time. And I said, "What's your name?" And she said, "I'm Susie." And I said, "Oh, how do you know Mark?" And she said, "Well, I don't really know him. My husband worked in blah, blah, blah." I went, "Mark Steven Johnson? Simon Birch? Wait, where is he?" And we had become friends. And sure enough, I said, "Listen, dude, next thing you do, I want to be there. I want to be there." And he called me up one day. I was getting a haircut, and they said, stop the haircut, get to the set." And I was like, so, and he had not even written the scene. He kind of like put it together that day because they knew they needed a scene. But anyway, what else you got? You got any questions?
You've done a few things here.
I have done a few things. Oh, One Life to Live. Yeah, that old story. Jonas.
Yeah,
that was short-lived. It was only 3 months. I just got back to New York, and
we mentioned that too, and you mentioned that a little bit.
That's Sebastian right there in the center on the couch.
Yeah,
and oh my God, what an incredible group of people to work with. And Winterthorne, that was kind of magical. I played. Hold on. Oh gosh, I can't even remember the name. This is what happens when you get so many names in your head.
But
that role was supposed to be for a woman, and I said, "You don't got anything?" He goes, "Well, maybe we can change the role to the sex of the man, to a man." And it got me my first Emmy nomination. I can't remember. Oh my God, it's coming. Winterthorne.
I think I can.
I still got that fur somewhere. I wrapped it up. Anyway. Falling for Angels was a recent thing. You're going to go through every single thing. Just let people go and watch these things. My gosh.
Well, now they know that you're in them. They will.
Yeah. I'm in Falling for Angels in the Bel Air and the Malibu episodes, because there's Falling for Angels is about all these different gay communities in parts of Los Angeles. Falling for Angels, and it's a great little piece. I think that's on here. Oh, Mary Beth Peele, I love her. That's from season 2 of After Forever, and she played my mom in a flashback.
Yeah,
and I had asked Michael, in season 1, you learn that my character Brian's parents are deceased, and there was really kind of no way to tell story about my past outside of the relationship unless I do a flashback to something my mother said.
Right.
And Michael found this beautiful way to weave that in. And Mary Beth, for this one scene, got nominated for an Emmy last year. Now I can't believe it's even 5:30. This is crazy. There's my love, Katie Huffman, and that scene right there. That's one of my favorite scenes of season 2, right there on the pier.
What are some of the things that continue to inspire you, Kevin? After all these years, you've put a lot, none of this comes easy. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and sacrifice. And, obviously you're a phenomenal talent, and people really enjoy your work because you present everything with a true authenticity and a realness that people can relate to in all these different roles, all these different characters and opportunities you've had. What are some of the things that continue to bring you great blessing and joy in your life that spur you on to want to continue creating and being in the game?
Oh, wow. You're asking this question at probably one of the most pivotal times in my life. I'm 58. I'm very proud that I'm still here and alive. I lost a pack, I lost an army of friends and family, friends mostly in the early 80s and 90s to AIDS. And and with Michael now and his transition, I'm really inspired by the truth, and it's not always easy, and it's not always eloquent, but love and whatever that fabric that connects us all is called. You can call it universe, you can call it God, you can call it source. That's the thing that drives me, and it's the thing that saves me when I don't want to go into too much of the political world, and but we all have to be responsible for that. And then it's the thing that saves me when someone's having an issue or someone's sick. But I have really, especially in the last few months, and with the loss of Michael, I had to really get clear on what it was, what that formless faith is, and what do I pray to. And I feel that words are very important. I feel they create our reality. I feel that when there's an issue that presents the thing that you don't want, at the same time, the answer to that has also been created. So you can choose which way to go. But I'm finding that there is a blessed fabric that kind of cloaks us all, and I'm all for that. That's the thing that keeps me going from day to day into darkness and into light, whatever.
I've been saying on this show and in my professional work too, on television and radio, that I'm hoping that out of everything that we've been through, even in just this experience of the pandemic, the economic situation, the societal unrest, the political craziness, that we don't go back to, I know some people say they hope they go back to normal.
Oh, yeah.
What really was normal. I'm hoping that we achieve
a new beginning,
a better, and that we're more empathetic, more loving, more compassionate, kinder, less divisive, less hatred, and that we actually listen to one another. We inspire one another, because we're all here for a reason. We're all here of great value. Everybody has worth. And I'm a Libra, so I'm all about balance and harmony.
Balance, baby. Balance.
And harmony. And we want to bring everybody together and unify. So I'm really, really hoping, and I know we've seen in the last many months the worst of the worst in people, but then we've also seen the best of the best in people as well. So I'm hoping that overrides all the negativity, and more love and empathy and compassion rise from the loss, the horror, and all the things we've been through in so many different ways, whether it's personally, individually, or collectively. And, that's the hope. And I know you probably feel the same way, that it's a better that we should look for, not return to a normal.
Yeah, well, I think things have changed in our life.
They really have.
We can't go back.
No.
We can't. And look, technology, as extraordinary as it is, for every great thing about technology, there's about 3 or 4 things that are not so great about it with our social media. And yes, Dwight says it best. We are in this together. And I think, look, here I am able to be here with you this way. How fabulous and how wonderful that we can be in our lockdown, but still have people to reach out to. I don't know. The stories that really move me are the ones that connect us all, and I think we are all the same. We come from the same source. Like you said, we all bleed blood, red blood. But I think we're all wounded. We all have some sort of wound. We all have some sort of story that is not shared with other people, yet it still connects us to other people. And, how we make it from the birth canal to, 5 years old is a mystery to me. I mean, think about all the things that can go wrong in that scenario.
Yes.
Then we make it to the next part, and then the next part. And there's always, and my dad, my mom and dad are still with us. And my dad,
which is a blessing too.
It's such a blessing. And I wish he'd FaceTime more, but I'm going to go back and see them in St. Louis soon. I think someone who is in the elder realm of their 80s and 90s, and they have seen a lot of life, and people around them are now going. But
Yes.
it's a privilege. It's a privilege, no matter what age. And I just want to thank you for having me on the show, Jim. This has been great.
It really was, Kevin. You're a ray of light. And, I've said that I think what happened, in the springtime was a couple of energies came together, planet Earth, Mother Nature, and whatever energy source of a divine. And they didn't like what was happening and the way we were going. And they put a halt on everything and said, you guys figure it out. We're going to throw some big things your way and let's see how you figure it out. And again, you've got great spirit, great passion, and really beautiful how you're paying heed to those who really have meant so much in your life. And that also enriches your ability to direct, produce, write, and act, because it's those experiences in life that you've absorbed that come out in your work as well, which is what makes you so real and authentic, and why so many people connect with you, my friend.
Thank you.
This was a real pleasure, and I hope the show met whatever expectations you had.
Yeah. I didn't know what to expect, but I'm glad I get to connect with another heart soul person, and the people who are brought together through you, through the loveities. And I'm again, I just want to shout out to everyone in the After Forever family. And if you're able to see it here in the United States or the UK, After Forever, the series, and it's on Amazon, you can go to bingenetworks.tv and you can do pay-per-view. And thanks to everyone who has experienced it, and go out there and write a review for it, and give it needs to be in the queue of the what do you call it? The algorithms. So the more people see it, the more they leave good reviews, the more it keeps rising. But I ask you to see it, not just because I'm proud of the work, but I'm proud of what it stands for, and that it's the legacy that Michael and I got to create. And I will forever be grateful to Michael after forever.
Just want to show you that some wonderful comments coming in.
I see them.
Kevin, you're a beautiful soul, and feel lucky to share the planet with you, from Maureen. Merlin in Canada, was great to meet you, Kevin. Bernadette says, thank you, Kevin, for sharing yourself with us. Juanita, where it's really late in South Africa.
Thank you, Anita. Thank you.
Wonderful conversation. Thank you, Kevin, for sharing your amazing career and life stories with us. Keep well. Kathy Short in Cleveland. Kevin, this has been fun and entertaining. A ray of light perfectly describes Kevin. And Dwight, of course. That was fun, Kevin. Thank you.
Dwight gets kudos for Penny Johnson. Yes.
Yes, he came in.
Thanks,
wonderful conversation. Kevin and Jim, take care. Kevin from Mary Bishop in Florida, Gary in Iowa. Thank you, Kevin, for spending your time with us. They always like to share their time. Kathy says, we all need someone close or far away, and I'm glad I have them to reach out to, and that I can be here for them. And FaceTime is terrific as well, which is very, very true. Stay connected with everybody.
Yeah, and Facebook, you can reach me After Forever, the series, on Facebook. You can go to Kevin Spirtas. I have 2 pages on Facebook. And also, I'm forgetting about it, After Forever, Riley's Unforgettable School Project. It's an incredible documentary. It stars all of your friends from After Forever, and there's a new song.
Cool. Very, very cool. Loved hearing your stories, Kevin.
Thanks, definitely.
Kevin, for sharing this evening with us. You are so inspiring, from Ann Wozniak. And Tina says, thank you, Kevin, for a very heartwarming evening. I toast you, my friend. This really
is my water.
There you go. Cling, cling, cling. Cheers.
Thank you, sir.
And, I certainly hope you enjoyed your time with me as much as
I did, Jim. I really did. I hope we can do this again soon.
Absolutely. And you know who else was watching that really was inspired by the conversation? George Burns.
Oh, now that's fantastic.
There you go.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie. You take care. Go stretch those legs.
Thank you, sir. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Kevin Spirtas, amazing, huh? We appreciate all the time that he shared with us, and also all the incredible stories too. He really opened up about some people and some experiences in his life that are very impactful. And I thought that was really a blessing, and it was very joyful that he did that. And as you know, he's an extraordinary actor, writer, producer, director, and all those things. But I think as what happens all the time on the Jim Master Show Live, you end up getting to learn a little bit more about the guests who we have on the show from literally all walks of life, fields of endeavor, expressions of art, whatever it may be. And I think it's really cool that we have these kinds of conversations. Sometimes we sprinkle in entertainment as well and other feature segments, things of that nature on the show. But you get a chance, maybe you've always followed Kevin and you've always admired him, admired his work and all the different roles and the different places where he's been and shows he's been on and so much more, from television to film to Broadway and all the different forms. But yet at the same time, you had an opportunity to learn about the man and the soul and the heart of Kevin, which is really, really cool. Thanks for all the great comments and your spirited enthusiasm during the course of the show. If you missed the episode or any part of it, or you'd like to see it again, all of the episodes are available right there on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. We would love it if you subscribe to the channel as well. It really, really is a channel filled with over 245 episodes of our entertainment lifestyle talk show series, where we're bringing back the lost art of conversation. Really great having Kevin with us here on the show and giving us, almost 2 hours to really open up and share. And you can see that he's still obviously very moved by the loss of Michael Slade, a dear, dear friend and colleague, and opened up about that as well. And you got a chance to go back in time a little bit too with some of the other projects and shows that you guys love and so much more that he's been a part of. And he's pretty much an open book, and he really, really was fantastic. And Merlin, watching on our YouTube channel as well, thank you very much, Merlin. We're glad that you got a chance to see the whole thing. And thanks, Jim, for another great show. My pleasure. My pleasure. Absolutely. Best policy, right, Marsha Lyon? Congratulations on your upcoming retirement. And I think that's tomorrow? Marsha, when COVID is over, we'll have to get together and celebrate your retirement. My longtime friend, Marsha, and I have known each other via public television for years. Yes, he is so honest and warm and open. Thank you, Jim, for having him on. My pleasure. Christine says, thanks for sharing so many stories of your life and career and life-changing stories. You're inspirational. You had an incredible career. Thanks again for being so open with us. You're a loveity. Sometimes the comments come in sort of late. Thank you, Jim. This was a wonderful evening. Good night, everyone. Because there's so many coming in at once, I guess. Thanks for those nice comments, Christine and Bernadette. Thanks. Kevin was an amazing guest. And Tina, thank you, Kevin, for the heartwarming evening. It is our pleasure. And Kevin as well. Thanks you. And thank you, Jim. This was a wonderful evening. Good night, everyone, as well. Hey, wait, I'm going to tap dance. You leaving? Your guest is gone, so that's it. You guys are the best. And again, if you missed an episode, would like to see any episodes of the Jim Master Show Live, there they are for you. We're going to wrap up. Very busy, busy day today. Just want to let you know, we've got amazing guests coming up tomorrow. Author and life coach Sterling Meyer is going to be here live. We are very excited to have her here. She's all excited to be on the show as well. She is here tomorrow, then lots of music and so much more with our dear friend, Broadway star Nikenja is going to be here on Saturday live. And she's going to perform live, and it's just going to be absolutely amazing. Coming up in February, Brian Dunphy from the High Kings is going to be here. Lynn Hillary, wonderful singer, songwriter, musician, originally with Celtic Woman. She's going to be here as well. And as, of course, you guys know, all of the episodes of the Jim Master Show Live are available on our YouTube channel. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific is our live broadcast. And again, we thank Kevin for joining us. He was really amazing. Again, you know him from so many great roles, but now you got a chance to know a little bit more about the man behind the work. And this was terrific. Check him out again and all of the places he mentioned. Really, really wonderful guy. And also, as we mentioned too, which he mentioned, make sure you do check this out after forever. Amazon and all the other wonderful opportunities to really check out his extraordinary work. Congratulations to, this was just announced. Actually, I got this information about an hour before we went live, came direct from Los Angeles, and then he announced it on the show. Duly noted, and we really, really send our congratulations to Kevin and everybody after forever. It's quite a special recognition too. So congratulations to them on a job well done. Hey, I just wanted to let you know that so many people have been talking about when we had Rebecca Harkinen, our dear friend Rebecca Harkin, on the show. Irish singer, songwriter. She was live from Sydney, Australia. This was Andrea Monturi who posted this in the Harkin Army page. Fantabulous chat. And we love this. We love when the viewers are so excited about the things we do here on the Jim Masters Show Live, entertainment, lifestyle, talk show series. And she created this and she shared it with the world. And I think that was beautiful. So Andrea, thank you very much. And so many others who have been doing things like that, spreading the word, sharing the loveity, telling everybody about our entertainment, lifestyle, talk show series, whether you're watching it here on YouTube. Sometimes we share the links on Facebook as well, whatever it may be. And a couple more comments coming in here. Maureen says, I'm so impressed for Kevin's genuineness. It's been a great evening. Thank you, Jim. Have a good night, everyone. Loveity group hug. Night, night, everyone. Stay safe. Oh, remember I mentioned we're going to do a show on poetry? That's going to come up this Tuesday. That's right. We've got a very special guest joining me as well on Tuesday, and it's all going to be about fantastic poetry. A lot of you have been asking for a show like that, so I've got a very special guest who is a dear friend who's coming on, who is a brilliant poet. And we're going to have some other poetry from a viewer or two who sent some poetry into us that they write, and we're going to share that for you as well on Tuesday. It's going to be a very special show. So hopefully you'll join us for that as well. Many, many guests. Good night, everyone. Take care of yourselves as well. And good stuff. Good stuff. We love it. We love it. So we're going to wrap up the show because it's a busy day tomorrow. And thank you, Tina. Yes, thank you. Another terrific show. Time flies so quickly. Good night to you, and good night to all loveities. And good night to you as well, Juanita, and everybody else. All right, gang, thanks for joining us. Don't forget to relax. We do this at the end of every show, if I can remember. So many things going on during our live show. Sometimes we forget to do this. Relax and breathe. Love one another and take care of yourself. Love yourself too. And, not every day is going to be perfect. Not every day is, always sunshine and lollipops and roses, but make the best of it. We talk about that all the time. We've gone through some really interesting things in the last many months. So don't forget to smile. Don't forget to share the loveity. Don't forget to find your Zen place. Mine, of course, is the ocean here on the East Coast of the United States, in the Northeast, sharing the loveity. And make sure you do that. And I love the ocean. And of course, as I mentioned, all my work in television and radio and multimedia, on air, on camera, behind the scenes, all the different shows and networks and all the different things. So absolutely fantastic. So again, Sterling Meyer is with us tomorrow, wonderful author and life coach joining us. Hopefully you guys will be here too. If not, you have a good weekend. We'll see you over the weekend. Thank you for another inspirational show. Jim, Kevin was so great and humble, a kind soul. Good night, Jim and lovely friends. Relax and stay safe. And you too, Christine. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Good night. You've got your fingers crossed. So do I. Only you and I know what we're talking about. We'll have to keep that our little secret, Bernadette, and we'll hopefully have some good news to tell the loveities, right? It's our secret. Nobody's listening, right? Kathleen, thanks for all those emojis. You have a good night too. And yes, I'm going to tap since well, you guys are taking off, so I was going to strum the guitar, but since you're leaving, hey, you'll have to catch that on another episode. Good night, gang. Toast you all. Thanks for joining us on the Jim Masters Show Live, bringing back the lost art of conversation. It's always a blessing to have you guys here. Spread the word. Tell everybody about our show. It's always wonderful when you're here, and we always have a really, really, really good time. Hey, Dwight, I know you had a blast with us. Good night. Great show. Thank you, Dwight. We love having you here. And yes, I'm going to tap my way out. George Burns and I are going to do a little soft shoe on the way out, which we don't have much really far to go since we're in our home studio here. And you are here, Tina. We love it. And Juanita is here as well. You are the troopers. You are the true loveities. You guys are the true loveities. You didn't duck out. Rest well, stay safe, and stay well, everybody. Love you all. You guys stay, happy and well. And if you have a bad day, you know where we are, right here on the Jim Masters Show Live, to put some smiles and inspiration in your world. So you have a good night, gang. We love you all. And this was another terrific show. And we'll look forward to the next one right here on the Jim Masters Show Live. You take care and be well. Love you all. Good night.